Today we're going to be making paper-mache trash pumpkins. Then we're going to be putting a vintage jack-o'-lantern design face on the front. It's so easy to do, so let's get started. We are going to just dive right in. So this is a plastic bag that's going to be the base of our trash pumpkin, and it's full of all of these things that you can see I've saved in this hamper of mine. So it's old gift bags, grocery bags, just tons of plastic bags, even like little cardboard shavings. Just shove that in a plastic bag and then you're gonna tie it tight. I've even used like old shirts that I would donate. I just end up putting them inside of the bags. You can put literally anything in there that's not going to rot and that you can form and mold into a type of pumpkin. Cut off the stem into the length that you want. I'm going to reinforce everything with duct tape, and this is going to just make the stem strong, and you're going to be able to form it more into the look of an actual stem. See, there it is, beautiful. So I actually use this duct tape here, and I reinforced the entire pumpkins, and I just went all around, literally covered every inch of it. Now I have a bigger pumpkin that I'm going to show later in the video, and I did not do that. So it's not necessary that you have to do that. I just did it because there's so many, it was just easier to do. Moving on, take all of your grocery bags that you have, gift bags, anything like that, cut them up into these strips. Now we're going to be making your paper-mache paste. So grab an old bowl, grab some flour, and I'm starting with 3 cups. I'm going to start with just adding 2 cups of water to this, and I brought this extra water out, so I'm going to add flour, add a little bit of water until it's the consistency of pancake batter. It literally should look just like a pancake batter. When it's to that consistency, you know that it is good to go. Side note, this paste sort of turns into concrete when you're done, so just be cautious of that. Once you're done with this project, make sure you just clean up this bowl and whisk right away. Now to get paper macheing. First, you're gonna grab your strips of paper that you cut out, grab your pumpkin, and you're just gonna dip this in there, and then I use my finger and I've kind of just wipe any excess off. You definitely want to get it saturated and full of the paste, but you can kind of wipe some of the edges off. And then as you can see, I'm just taking my finger and trying to fold it down as smooth as possible. Since this is a literal trash pumpkin is what I call it, it's not perfectly smooth, so you're gonna have to just kind of do some trial and error and kind of smooth things out, move the paper around if it doesn't fit perfect in that spot. It's not supposed to be perfect. That is the best part about these trash pumpkins, is they are supposed to look whimsical, kind of folk art, that type of vibe. So you're just going to repeat this process until your entire pumpkin is covered in the paper mache paste with the cutouts. And then lastly, I always do the stem, and I just take one of the longer strips that I have cut out and I just kind of twist it around the top. This can get a little tricky on the base of the stem, so just take your time. I have all of these mini pumpkins because I am doing a fall night with my girlfriends, so that's why there's so many. But now that these are all finished, I'm going to let them dry overnight just to make sure they are extra dry and good to go. Okay, so like I was saying before, I had my little pumpkins for a party that I did with my girlfriends. So this is just a huge version of what we just made previously. But this is it. It's all dry, as you can see. And kind of got to finish the bottom, but this is the bottom of it. So now let's get to painting. I'm just using a regular acrylic base paint, which is just fine. I have 2 different shades of orange here, and then I have a black and a brown, and then we're gonna do a vintage looking jack-o'-lantern face on it. So once we're done, it'll look like this, which I obviously have to finish this one too, so it'll work out perfect. So I'm just going to start by literally just putting the paint right on the pumpkin. It's just going to be easier. I'm not even going to use a craft paintbrush. I'm going to use a regular paintbrush for the walls. And since this is so uneven and there's so many little cracks and crevices, it's just easier to make sure you have more of a heavy duty brush for this. This stem was really large compared to the mini pumpkins that I did. So before I started painting, I did reinforce it with some duct tape just to make sure it sticks and everything's good to go. The first coat is done, so I am going to let it dry. since it's not a perfect pumpkin, it's, you know, got a lot of layers and different crevices and stuff. We'll have to recheck it, and I won't do a whole nother layer of paint, but I'll kind of take my paintbrush and try to get all the holes that we missed or spots. And then we'll do a little more shading since we did 2 colors of orange, but I want to make sure it looks more prominent than what we're seeing now. I have to go pick my daughter up from school, so we'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so it's been a few hours, and I'm gonna add a little shadowing here, and we gotta paint the stem. It's starting to get like chilly outside right now, and dark so much sooner than what I'm used to. You could do the stem green or brown. I'm going to opt for brown since it's a little more traditional when it comes to the vintage jack-o'-lantern faces. Usually they're either like brown. It's not too often that you see a green one, but you do you. It's totally up to you. Now for the shading, I'm going to take a lighter craft brush and I'm going to add more of the darker brown up on top of the stem for the shadowing. Just know that this is going to look a little chaotic and messy for a little bit, but it will all work out in the end here. So I'm going to do another bit of shadowing here, and this is going to be the lines of the pumpkin, or like the ridges that you see on like the traditional pumpkin jack-o'-lanterns or any pumpkins that you buy at the store. They always have the ridges and the dark shadows of that. So once again, I am just doing the brown color, and then I'm even dipping my paintbrush in some water just to make it even more of a diluted colored brown. Now I'm going to take that large paintbrush again, and this is going to just be more of like a dry rub of the brown. I'm definitely going to be hitting the bottom and doing the top, and then I'm also going to be adding in some yellows, a little bit of orange, and then I'm just going to be kind of rubbing in the areas that I painted the brown in at, just so it's not a stark brown line. This is a perfect example right here where I'm going over the brown line, but you can still see it. It's just making it more look like a natural shadow. Okay, so it's the next day. I'm gonna paint this. I'm doing a vintage jack-o'-lantern face, so we'll see how it goes. I'm sharpening a pencil, which is so weird because I don't think I've sharpened an actual pencil in like 15 years since high school. So this is kind of fun. Okay, so I have my vintage style face up on my laptop to use for reference, and then I'm just gonna draw its face on before I commit to the paint, and we'll see how this goes. I guess if it's bad, I can always paint the other side of it, right? So I am just going to trace my face onto the pumpkin. You guys can't really see it, so just trust that that's what I'm doing. This is the best way to do it in my opinion. I just think it's too risky to completely freehand and paint on here. But again, if you are like really good at it and you know what you're doing, then you go for it and you can just paint right on your pumpkin. Just skip this part. I just know how I am, so I had to do this first. We have finally made it to the funnest part of the video. Now we're going to finally paint on our face. So I'm using a smaller brush here, and I'm just taking the black paint. This is just straight black, no different colors or anything added. And these are going to be his little eyebrows. And then for his eyes, I took that lighter orange color that I had earlier in the video, and I also mixed this with like a traditional like primary color yellow. I just thought a too bright yellow would look a little stark, so that's why I kind of toned it down with more of like a vintage traditional color orange and mix them together. I just think it looks more natural to this jack-o'-lantern face. I didn't do 2 coats of the black for the eyes, nose, or eyebrows, but I did do 2 coats of this yellow for the eyes and the mouth just to make sure you could see it really well. Oh, you guys, this is looking so cute. I'm so excited. For his eyes, this is a regular, just straight white color here. This was a little intimidating, but I just found a brush that was a kind of a circle, and I just loaded it with quite a bit of paint, and then I just tapped it right on his eye. Last details here are just the outline around his mouth and then the shadowing of the teeth. Now that the pumpkin is completely dry, this is optional, but I am going to do a polyurethane gloss spray on here just to make sure everything's protected and all good. Here is our paper-mache trash pumpkin all finished up. This turned out better than I even imagined. I think this is so darling. I'm so into the vintage look of Halloween right now. Don't mind my kids playing. I'm definitely going to be making more of these. The face is so easy to do. And then I'm glad that I did the polyurethane on the front just to double check that everything's going to be all good to go. This will be so cute in my kitchen above the cabinets. I will put a video of that next. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching this fun little project. And we will see you next time.